Welcome back to Sister Wives Season 20, and if you thought the drama was intense before, you have absolutely no idea what's about to happen. This is not just another episode. This is a pre-cap episode that's going to completely reshape your understanding of what's coming next. We're about to dive deep into the upcoming episode 8, and let me tell you, the chaos that's about to unfold is absolutely unprecedented. Meri is about to make a move that nobody expected, a move that's so bold, so shocking, that it's going to send shockwaves through the entire Brown family. This isn't just drama for the sake of drama. This is a turning point that will fundamentally change the dynamics of this family forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is absolutely the critical moment to do so, because what you're about to witness will leave you absolutely speechless. Let's set the scene here because understanding the context is absolutely essential to comprehending just how massive this moment is. Kody and Robyn have planned what they're calling a celebration party, a gathering where they can celebrate their relationship and spend quality time together with close friends and family members. On the surface, this sounds like a perfectly normal event, something that happens in families all the time. But in the context of the Brown family dynamics, this party represents something much deeper and much more troubling. This party is essentially a celebration of Kody's commitment to Robyn at the expense of his other relationships, particularly his relationships with Meri and Janelle. This party is a public display of his current priorities, and it's a direct slap in the face to the wives who have been pushed aside and abandoned. Now, here's where things get absolutely interesting. Meri has been watching from the sidelines as Kody pours all his attention and energy into Robyn. She's been watching as he completely neglects his relationships with his other wives. She's been watching as he spends time with Robyn's family, as he focuses all his emotional energy on Robyn's needs and wants. And after everything that's happened, after all the broken promises, after all the years of sacrifice and loyalty, Meri has finally reached a breaking point. She's decided that she's not going to sit quietly on the sidelines anymore. She's decided that she's not going to pretend like everything is fine when everything is clearly falling apart. She's decided to make a statement, and that statement is going to come in the form of gate-crashing Kody and Robyn's party. This decision by Meri is absolutely monumental for several reasons. First, it shows that Meri is no longer willing to be a passive participant in her own family's dynamics. She's no longer willing to accept being excluded or sidelined. She's ready to take action, ready to be heard, ready to confront Kody directly in a public setting. Second, this decision shows that Meri has reached a level of desperation and frustration that compels her to take risks she might not have taken before. She knows that crashing the party is going to cause controversy, is going to create conflict, is going to probably make things worse in the short term. But she's clearly decided that the potential benefit of making her voice heard outweighs the potential consequences. Third, this decision signals to viewers and to the family that something has fundamentally shifted. Meri is not the same woman who quietly accepted dismissal and neglect. She's evolved, she's changed, and she's ready to fight for what she believes in. The party itself is supposed to be a celebration, but what Meri's presence is going to do is transform it into a confrontation zone. Instead of a peaceful gathering, it's going to become a battleground where all the tension and resentment that's been building up beneath the surface is finally going to explode into the open. And this is exactly what makes this pre-cap so absolutely compelling. Because everyone who's watching this knows that when Meri shows up uninvited to Kody and Robyn's party, it's not going to be subtle. It's not going to be quiet. It's not going to go unnoticed. Meri is going to make sure that her presence is felt, that her voice is heard, and that everyone at that party understands that she's no longer willing to be ignored. From Kody's perspective, this is going to be absolutely devastating. He's probably imagining this party as a safe space where he can celebrate his relationship with Robyn without dealing with any of the complications or conflicts that come with managing a polygamous family. He's probably imagining that his other wives will respectfully keep their distance, that they'll understand that this is his time to be with Robyn, that they'll accept being excluded from this celebration. But Meri's decision to show up uninvited is going to completely shatter that illusion. It's going to force Kody to confront the reality that he can't just compartmentalize his relationships, that he can't just ignore half his family while celebrating with the other half, that there are consequences to neglecting people and making them feel worthless. Robyn, on the other hand, is going to be absolutely caught off guard by Meri's appearance. This party was supposed to be about celebrating her relationship with Kody, about validating her position in the family, about creating a space where she and Kody could feel special and honored. But now that space is going to be invaded by the wife that Kody has essentially abandoned, the wife that he's chosen to move away from, the wife that represents everything that's complicated and difficult about his polygamous lifestyle. Robyn is going to be put in an extremely uncomfortable position, and you can absolutely guarantee that her reaction to Meri's appearance is not going to be warm or welcoming. In fact, this confrontation could potentially damage Robyn's relationship with Kody if she feels that he's been disrespecting her by having his other wife show up at what was supposed to be their special night. But here's the thing that makes this pre-cap so absolutely brilliant from a storytelling perspective. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen when Meri shows up. Nobody knows what words are going to be exchanged, what accusations are going to be leveled, what emotions are going to explode into the open. Will Meri confront Kody directly? Will she confront Robyn? Will she simply make her presence known and let the discomfort of the situation speak for itself? Will there be screaming? Will there be tears? Will there be a moment of shocking clarity where someone finally says something that needs to be said? This uncertainty is what's going to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. This is what's going to drive people to tune in to the full episode, because this pre-cap is essentially a trailer for an event that's going to be absolutely earth-shattering. The fact that this is a pre-cap makes it even more interesting because it means we're getting a glimpse of what's coming, but not the full picture. We're seeing the setup, the context, the build-up to the main event. We're seeing Meri making her decision to crash the party. We're seeing Kody and Robyn preparing for their celebration, completely unaware of what's about to happen. We're seeing the other family members reacting to the news that Meri is planning something bold. We're seeing all the pieces moving into place before the explosion happens. And this slow burn approach to storytelling is absolutely masterful because it builds anticipation and creates an irresistible urge in viewers to find out what happens next. Let's talk about the emotional stakes here, because this is where things get really interesting. Meri's decision to crash the party is not just a personal choice. It's a statement about her value and her worth in this family. By showing up uninvited, she's essentially saying that she refuses to be erased, that she refuses to be forgotten, that she refuses to accept being treated as irrelevant. This is a woman who has given years of her life to this family, who has made sacrifices, who has tried to be supportive of Kody's lifestyle even when it was painful and difficult. And now she's finally standing up and saying that she's not going to take it anymore. The emotional weight of this moment cannot be overstated. This is a pivotal moment in Meri's personal journey of self-discovery and self-advocacy. From Kody's perspective, this confrontation represents a threat to everything he's been trying to build with Robyn. He's been trying to create a narrative where his relationship with Robyn is separate and distinct from his other relationships, where Robyn is somehow special and different and more important than his other wives. But Meri's appearance at the party is going to make it absolutely impossible to maintain that separation. She's going to force Kody to confront the reality of his choices, the reality of how his actions have affected his other wives, the reality that he can't just pretend the rest of his family doesn't exist. This confrontation is going to be deeply uncomfortable for Kody. And you can absolutely guarantee that he's going to be defensive, he's going to be angry, he's going to try to minimize or dismiss Meri's concerns. The pre-cap is building up to what's probably going to be the most dramatic moment of episode 8, because once Meri shows up at that party, once that initial shock wears off, things are going to escalate very quickly. The cameras are going to be there to capture every moment of the confrontation. The tension in the room is going to be absolutely unbearable. Everyone is going to be on edge, waiting to see what happens next, waiting to see what Meri is going to say, waiting to see how Kody is going to respond. And this is the kind of moment that makes reality television absolutely compelling. This is the kind of moment that keeps viewers coming back episode after episode, because you simply cannot predict what's going to happen. What's particularly fascinating about this pre-cap is the way it sets up the larger narrative of what's happening in the Brown family. This isn't just about Meri crashing a party. This is about the fundamental breakdown of communication and respect in this family. This is about the way that Kody has been systematically abandoning his wives and consolidating his focus on Robyn. This is about the way that the other wives have finally reached a breaking point and are no longer willing to accept this treatment. This is about the larger question of whether this polygamous family can survive when one member is so clearly prioritizing one relationship over all the others. This pre-cap is essentially asking the question, can this family be saved, or is it too far gone? One of the most important aspects of this pre-cap is the way it shows the ripple effects of Kody's choices throughout the family. Because Meri's decision to crash the party is not happening in isolation, it's happening in the context of months and months of neglect, dismissal, and abandonment. It's happening in the context of previous confrontations that haven't led to any real change. It's happening because Meri has exhausted all other options and feels like this dramatic gesture is her last hope for making Kody understand the severity of the situation. This pre-cap is showing us that we've reached a critical point where incremental changes and gentle confrontations are no longer effective. Now we need dramatic action, bold moves, confrontations that can't be ignored or minimized. The timing of this party is also absolutely significant. Because this isn't just any party. This is happening at a moment when the family is already deeply divided, already dealing with multiple crises, already struggling with fundamental questions about whether this polygamous family structure can continue. The party represents Kody's attempt to create a moment of peace and celebration, but it's happening at absolutely the worst possible time. It's happening when Meri is at her breaking point. It's happening when the other wives are also frustrated and angry about their treatment. It's happening when the entire family is on the verge of collapse. So this party, which was supposed to be celebratory, is instead going to become a catalyst for even more conflict and drama. What makes this precap so compelling is the fact that we're essentially being shown the calm before the storm. We're being shown Kody and Robyn preparing for their party, completely unaware of what's about to happen. We're being shown Meri making her decision to crash the party, steeling herself for the confrontation that's coming. We're being shown the other family members reacting to this news, expressing their shock and concern about what's going to happen. And then there's this moment of absolute anticipation where we're all waiting to see if Meri actually goes through with this plan. Will she show up? Will she actually crash the party? Or will she lose her nerve at the last moment? This uncertainty is what's going to keep viewers absolutely glued to their screens. The precap is also doing something very clever from a narrative perspective. It's showing us that there are multiple perspectives on what's about to happen. Some family members probably support Meri's decision to crash the party and make her voice heard. Some family members are probably terrified about what's going to happen and worried about the fallout. Some family members are probably sympathetic to Kody's desire to have a moment alone with Robyn, but also understanding of why Meri feels she needs to do something drastic. By showing these multiple perspectives, the precap is creating a sense that this situation is complicated and nuanced, that there aren't any easy answers, that everyone has legitimate concerns and valid points of view. But here's the thing that really matters. Regardless of the different perspectives, regardless of the complications, regardless of the nuances, one thing is absolutely clear. Something has to change in this family. The status quo is clearly not sustainable. Kody cannot continue to neglect his other wives in favor of Robyn. Meri and the other wives cannot continue to accept this treatment and expect things to get better. This family is at a crossroads, and the events of episode 8 are going to be crucial in determining which direction this family goes moving forward. Will there be a reconciliation and a recommitment to making this family work? Or will this confrontation accelerate the final breakdown of this family? That's the question that this precap is asking. And that's what's going to keep people watching. The dramatic tension in this precap is absolutely masterful because it's not just about what's going to happen at the party. It's about the larger implications of what Meri's action represents. It's about whether the wives in this family are finally going to stop accepting neglect and abuse. It's about whether they're going to stand up for themselves and demand to be treated with respect and dignity. It's about whether Kody is going to finally have to confront the reality of his choices and the consequences of his actions. This precap is essentially showing us the moment where things are about to change fundamentally, where the family is about to reach a turning point from which there's no going back. Let's talk about the symbolism of Meri crashing this party. Because on one level, it's just about a woman showing up to an event uninvited. But on a deeper level, it's about so much more. It's about Meri refusing to be erased. It's about Meri asserting her right to be present and to be heard. It's about Meri saying that she will not accept being replaced or forgotten. It's about Meri taking back her power after years of feeling powerless. This is a woman who has been marginalized and dismissed, and she's finally saying enough is enough. And that's a powerful statement that resonates far beyond just this one family. What's particularly interesting about this precap is the way it's structured to build maximum anticipation. It's not just showing us the events leading up to the party, it's also showing us interviews and confessionals where family members are talking about what's about to happen, expressing their concerns, trying to process the situation. These confessionals are absolutely crucial because they're allowing the family members to articulate their emotions and their thoughts in a way that helps viewers understand the psychological and emotional stakes of this confrontation. We're not just seeing what's happening, we're seeing how people are feeling about what's happening. And that emotional dimension is what makes this precap so absolutely riveting. One of the key elements of this precap is the way it's showing us that Meri has been planning this move. Thinking about it, preparing herself mentally for what's about to happen. She's not just impulsively showing up at the party in a moment of rage. She's made a deliberate decision to do this, and she's steeling herself for the consequences. This shows that Meri is not acting out of impulse or emotion. She's acting out of principle and conviction. She's made a calculated decision that the potential benefit of making her voice heard outweighs the potential consequences of confronting Kody publicly. This is a woman who has thought this through and decided that this is what she needs to do. The pre-cap is also building anticipation by showing us glimpses of what's about to happen without giving us the full picture. We're seeing fragments of conversations, we're seeing reactions, we're seeing preparation, but we're not seeing the actual confrontation yet. That's coming in the full episode. This strategic withholding of information is what's going to drive people to tune in to episode 8. Because now they want to know what happens. Now they want to see the confrontation. Now they want to understand how Kody reacts to seeing Meri show up uninvited. Now they want to know whether this confrontation is going to lead to any real change in the family dynamics. Here's what's really fascinating about this pre-cap from a storytelling perspective. It's creating a situation where there's absolute uncertainty about what's going to happen. Will Meri actually go through with this? Will she show up at the party? What will she say when she gets there? How will Kody respond? How will Robyn react? Will there be a massive blow-up? Will there be tears? Will there be violence? Will there be shocking revelations? Will people finally say the things that need to be said? All of these questions are swirling around in viewers' minds as they finish watching this pre-cap, and that's exactly what the pre-cap is designed to do. It's designed to make people desperate to see what happens next. The pre-cap is also doing something important in terms of character development. It's showing us Meri at a critical moment in her journey. She's not the same woman who quietly accepted neglect and dismissal. She's evolved, she's grown, she's finally willing to stand up for herself. And this evolution is crucial to understanding her character arc in the series. This is not a woman who's acting out of spite or revenge. This is a woman who's acting out of self-respect and self-advocacy. She's finally putting her own needs first, and that's a positive development even if it's going to create conflict and drama in the short term. What makes this pre-cap absolutely unmissable is the combination of personal drama and larger family implications. On one level, it's about Meri crashing a party. But on another level, it's about the fundamental question of whether this family can survive when one member is so clearly prioritizing one relationship over all the others. It's about whether the wives in this family are finally going to stop accepting this treatment. It's about whether Kody is finally going to have to confront his choices. It's about the future of this family structure. These larger implications are what's going to keep people invested in the full episode once it airs. The pre-cap is building up to what's probably going to be one of the most pivotal moments in the entire series. Because once Meri crashes that party, once that initial shock wears off, the family is going to have to confront some very hard truths about themselves and about the viability of their family structure. And those hard truths are not going to be pleasant. They're not going to be comfortable. They're not going to be what Kody wants to hear. But they're going to be necessary if this family is going to have any chance of surviving the current crisis. As we wrap up this pre-cap analysis, it's important to understand what's really at stake here. This is not just about a party. This is about the future of the Brown family. This is about whether this polygamous family structure can survive when one member is clearly prioritizing one wife over all the others. This is about whether the wives in this family are finally going to stand up for themselves and demand to be treated with respect and dignity. This is about whether Kody is finally going to have to confront the consequences of his choices. And most importantly, this pre-cap is showing us that we're at a critical turning point in this family's journey. The build-up to episode 8 is absolutely intense, and this pre-cap is doing everything it can to prepare us for what's about to happen. We're about to witness a confrontation that's going to shake the entire family to its core. We're about to see Meri take a stand and refuse to accept being marginalized any longer. We're about to see Kody forced to confront the reality of his choices. We're about to see this family reach a breaking point from which there may be no return. This is must-watch television. And the pre-cap is just the beginning of what's going to be absolutely earth-shattering drama, so make absolutely sure you're subscribed and ready for episode 8, because what happens when Meri crashes that party is going to change everything. This is not going to be a normal episode. This is going to be a watershed moment in sister wives history. This is going to be the moment where everything changes. This is going to be the confrontation that we've all been waiting for. And if you're not ready for what's coming, you're going to miss one of the most important episodes in the entire series. The stage is set, the drama is building, and the explosion is coming. Make sure you're there to witness it. This is absolutely unmissable television, and the pre-cap is just the beginning of an absolutely wild ride. The deeper implications of what Meri is about to do are staggering. By crashing this party, she's not just making a personal statement. She's potentially triggering a chain reaction of events that could fundamentally alter the course of the entire family. Other wives might feel emboldened to take their own stands. The family might be forced to have conversations that they've been avoiding. Kody might finally have to face the reality that he can't continue living as if the rest of his family doesn't exist. And Robyn might have to grapple with the fact that her special celebration is now overshadowed by conflict and drama. This precap is essentially showing us the moment before everything explodes, and that anticipation is absolutely palpable. What's crucial to understand is that this precap is not just showing us entertainment. It's showing us real people dealing with real problems, real relationships being tested, real family dynamics being strained to the breaking point. Yes, there's drama and conflict, but underneath all of that is genuine pain and frustration, and the very real struggle of trying to make a polygamous family work in a society that doesn't really support that lifestyle. This precap is reminding us that while we're watching this as entertainment, these are real people going through real trauma and real crisis. The precap is also setting up what's going to be a completely unpredictable episode. Because once Meri shows up at that party, anything could happen. The family members don't know what she's going to say. The viewers don't know what she's going to say. Even Meri might not know exactly what words are going to come out of her mouth in the heat of the moment. This uncertainty is what's going to make episode 8 absolutely essential viewing, because you simply cannot predict what's going to happen when all these emotions come to the surface and everyone is finally forced to confront what's been happening in this family. One final thing to understand about this precap is that it's showing us the moment where someone in the family finally decides that the status quo is unacceptable. This is the moment where compromise and tolerance are no longer viable options. This is the moment where someone decides to take a dramatic action in order to force change. And that's significant because it shows that we're at a critical juncture in this family's history. Things are about to change, whether anyone is ready for that change or not. The precap is showing us the calm before the storm, and that storm is absolutely going to be devastating in ways that nobody can fully predict. So buckle up, because this precap has just shown us that episode 8 is going to be absolutely earth-shattering. Meri's about to make a move that's going to send shockwaves through the entire family. Kody and Robyn are about to have their party completely derailed by an unwelcome guest. And the Brown family is about to reach a breaking point from which there may be no return. This is the precap that sets up one of the most important episodes in Sister Wives history, and you absolutely cannot afford to miss what happens next. The anticipation is building, the tension is rising, and the explosion is imminent. Make absolutely sure you're prepared for what's about to unfold in episode 8.